Hey guys, Fourfinger here, and I made that build that I was talking about before the league starts. I was minimaxing it a lot and had to change a few things with the help of my friend Fire, and we made it a lot better. With that being said, this has crazy boss damage, really good clear, struggled a little bit on defenses, but with more investment that's not gonna be an issue because it's mostly Wind Dancer nerf. You don't have as much evasion as we had before, but if you get like crazy good helmet for the subterfuge, anoint, and then you get a little bit better like gloves and boots, it's gonna be really nice. But for now, let's just jump into how everything blends together, and I'll make updates as we go. So just before we go into our skill gem and gear setup, you should really understand how does the build work. And as you can see, we have made some changes. We have switched the old red flare conduit chest and got the wolf protector instead. Reason behind this, you don't have to worry about shocking yourself. And secondly, you have higher chance to gain power charge on hit, although it does require a critical hit, because our generator is always going to be critting anyway, it's just more chance to gain them, right? So it's really good. Now you can corrupt this to 31%, one I have right now is 28, but it can go up to 31, but keep in mind, this is not needed, it's quality of life, it's mostly because we only have maximum of 6 infusions that we can have on ourselves, and if you don't proc it in those 6, you have to restart the loop. Now it's not a big deal because you only need to press one button that has 0.3 second cast time, it's really not a big deal, but higher the chance, less chance of that happening to drop the loop, so it will help. It's gonna be decent quality of life. So with that being said, we are using Serpent's egg, and main reason behind this is because we get additional charge for the power charges we gain from the chest. Because you cannot support this chest to get like additional charge from the support gems or any other stuff. So we want to generate more charges, and this is like one of the best ways to do it, because you gain 2 instead of 1 every time you do crit on the generator skill. So that's really nice. Let's go into how everything blends together. So you go into the maps, you pop the sniper mark, and then once you crit, you're going to get the frenzy, as everyone knows. Now, the galvanic shard doesn't have 100% chance to crit, because this is our consumer, not generator. This is the generator. This is the infused weapon itself is going to generate the charges. So not having 100% crit on this is fine, but here we do want to get at least 100% on this part, which is the furthest away. It just helps on mapping. Although if you don't worry about mapping, you can just go for the 100% in the close range, and this is gonna be fine for bossing. It really depends how much quality of life you wanna get. You can get way more damage and then drop those 2 supports, which I'm planning to drop pinpoint anyway. As soon as I have a little bit more crit on the jewels and stuff like that, and I can reach like 100% without it, I'm dropping this for more damage. But early on, those 2 nodes are huge. As you can see, once I drop them, without those 2, like my crit goes down for 47%. But with those 2, we are back up to like 150%. Although this is like overcapped, it's like really hard to balance because there's nothing I can really drop on the tree right now, so you get the idea. So let's go back to how it works. So you prop the sniper mark, you attack, you gain 2 frenzy charges because of the amulet, right? Then once you attack again, it's going to consume those charges because we run ferocity, and every time you attack with this skill, it consumes the frenzy charge, and then we get the infusions. So once you attack again, it's going to proc the infused weapon, which then has a chance to gain power charges, and then once you get the power charges and you attack again, you can consume those with potential. I know it sounds complicated, but it's not. And then you get cold infusions, and then every time you keep attacking, it's gonna generate like power charges, you're gonna consume power charges to proc the infusion, and you make this loop. So basically this part is only for the beginning. So ferocity and sniper mark is just to start the loop because you use it, you right click, you get the charges, you use it again to to generate infusions, you attack again with the infusion, which then gives you additional power charges, and then it's a loop of power charges. Every time you hit, like I said, you have a chance to gain them, and then every time you attack again, it has a chance to proc them as well. Hopefully this makes sense. Maybe I overcomplicated it, but I think it makes sense, honestly. And this is just our like support ability. This is not going to be doing any damage. Our full damage comes from the infused weapon itself, so like I said, running martial tempo, ferocity, and potential is just there to, and obviously nimble reload, just makes it so you attack really quickly, you proc the charges and you consume them, and because like you keep doing this, you just have crazy amounts of damage. Hopefully that made sense, but let's just go into a full skill gem setup right now. Regarding the rest of our skill gem setup, on infused weapon I am running primal ornament and conk effect, because they are just more damage obviously, and like I said, those 2 you can drop as soon as you reach like 100% without them. There's gonna be like higher investment, more gear and stuff, but for now this is like really good early on because you don't need that much critical hit because of the Amazon Ascendancy, and this node everybody already knows it, right? That's pretty much our main ability. When it comes to Galvanic Shards, as we said, this is a supporting ability. Martial Tempo, Ferocity, Potential, and Nimble Reload. Makes it so it always consumes the charges that we have. It makes it reload faster and attack faster, so it procs it more often. Obvious stuff. Because we are gonna be doing, like I said, the loop is only going to be around power charges once it starts, so we're primarily gonna be doing cold damage. Having Hypothermia is going to help us reach that minus res on bosses, so getting persistence just makes it last longer, and you can even get Cursed Ground if you want to, you know, not have to, you can pre-cast it on the bosses if you want. I'll just do that later, for now it's fine. Sniper Mark, I put the Profusion in to get the possibility of free charges with the amulet once it procs. It's not needed, but you have nothing else to put here anyway. Just, you know, more quality of life and makes it starting a loop a little bit faster, so not bad to have, not bad to have. Arcane Tempo, obviously to make it cast only like 0.3 seconds, so once you run out of charges or if you break the loop, you just press R and then you do it again. And like I said before, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, try not to spam right click, because if you do this in maps and you like kill the mobs and then you do it again, you're gonna consume the infusions and hit nothing, so you won't have a chance to generate charges back. Then you have to restart the loop again. So basically just make sure you do like poof, poof, you get the idea. Just keep attacking stuff that is alive and in front of you, because if you hit nothing, you just wasted 2 infusions. And for some reason, this is like consuming 2 infusions. I assume maybe it's because of the beam part, not quite sure, but I have like, it just consumes 2. But it also shotguns, as you can see in the videos later, but yeah, I just a little bit weird. I have to fully test this once I have more time. I'll have more like input, but for now, this is all that you need to know. Like I said, this is the Arcane Tempo, 0.3 seconds is really fine. You just press it really, you see how quickly it is in the maps, poof, and you can restart the loop. It's really not big of a deal. Shield Charge, I just do this for like going around stuff when you're not killing anything, just makes it go like really bit fast, so obvious stuff. Ghost Dance, Wind Dancer and Herald of Ice is my current setup, like nothing new, everybody knows how this works. This is the biggest nerf that we got, it's only 30% more with 3 stages, instead of what we had like 80% more with like highest level and quality. So this is a big nerf, but the supports are pretty much the same. Fast forward to make them generate faster, precision obviously because we are stacking accuracy, Wind Dancer with the Maim and Blind, but if I wanna run Blind like I said before on the Galvanic, and then run Blind side support gem for more crit and crit damage bonus, I might change it, but this is it for now, so Blind and Maim. And then Herald of Ice, Magnified Effect, Inevitable Critical, because this one doesn't have 100% on its own, so this helps a little bit, not a big deal anyway. And then finally Cold Infusion, which is just gonna give us more, you know, cold damage on it. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to gear, to the skill gem setup. So let's just go into our gear next. So when it comes to our gear, and specifically our weapon, there's a lot of freedom in which ones you can buy, especially if you go Penetrate, because this will allow you to like get combination of 3 things. It can be either Fizz, Accuracy or Cold Damage, whatever would give you the most out of that combination at the end. For example, I'm full Fizz here and this is my damage. If you would gain more by like having a little bit less here but getting a good Accuracy, that obviously we're gonna go for that. You just have to do the math pretty much. Whatever the accuracy is, just divided by 4 and then add it on top. But keep in mind, accuracy will not stack with stuff like increased physical damage on the weapon itself and quality. So at the end of the day, you just have to do the math yourself and then figure it out if it's worth it or not. But the good thing is you have a lot of freedom in how you buy them. Now for the suffixes, you pretty much want to get the crit hit chance, because it's just going to make it a lot easier to reach 100%, and then obviously later on it's going to enable you to drop pinpoint and get more damage support, which is really important. For now it's not a big deal, even if you don't have it, it's just going to feel a lot worse. When you're mapping, you're going to drop loop way more often, so keep that in mind. And then for the last 2 suffixes, you want attack speed and crit damage multiplier, but getting both of those on a good roll on top of everything we have is going to be really expensive, probably mirror worth, like on high rolls. So for now, just go for either attack speed or crit damage bonus, whatever you can get. Both of those are really good. Attack speed makes you, proc it more often, while crit damage bonus is straight up, damage multiplier, so both of those would be nice. Besides that, rest of the gear, you pretty much want to get highest possible ES helmet as you can get, because of the Subterfuge mask node, which is just gonna make, if you have like 400 ES helmet, you can get 800 evasion, which is really good because you're kind of hybrid right now. Besides that, everything else is pretty much get the requirements for the attributes, get life, resistances, and that's pretty much it. Nothing too crazy. And then on the rings, you want to try to get evasion and accuracy on top of it. Once you get, more currency, my rings are really, really bad. I didn't really farm too much yet because I was making thumbnails and stuff like that, but you get the idea. Overall, kept the attribute requirements, kept the resistances, get life, and then those two most important items. Sadly, like I said, we won't be running Choir. It was a really good idea, but they might even nerf it. And even if they don't, it has that cooldown problem that you have to solve. So you have to invest in cooldown recovery, or you can't even get the temporalities because you need this. So it's pretty much too much investment. And then you have a cap because it's almost impossible to go over like 4 procs per second with the Choir, while this has no limit. This build has no limit in how many you can proc. It's literally limited by your attack speed. The faster you attack, the more procs you can get with the infused weapon, so this is why it's a lot better. Besides that, for jewels, I don't have any good jewels right now. Like I said, I'm pretty poor. I'm pretty much just trying to get a crit damage bonus, attack damage, maybe some evasion. Any combination of those for now will work. But at the end, crit damage bonus and the attack / elemental / cold damage are the main priority of increasing it further. That's pretty much it when it comes to gear. And yeah, flask and normal stuff. Oh yeah, this is really good because we picked this while pathing along the way. It's only 2 points. Getting an extra charm for both freeze and stun immunity is really, really nice. And that's pretty much it for our gear. Nothing too crazy. This is just my Act 1 weapons, which I still have the same ones. This is just for me, like I said, moving around. That's it for this. So let's go to the skill tree next. So when it comes to our skill tree and the Ascendancy points, you really shouldn't build around this until you have those 2 uniques and 6 points into your Ascendancy. Otherwise you're just gonna have a terrible time. But once you do, the first thing that you pick is going to be Critical Strike. This makes it a lot easier to reach 100% obviously. Elemental Effusion, the ability that we play around. And then Infused Avatar just makes that ability a lot easier to sustain. So those 6 are a must pick. And for the last one, if you have crazy good accuracy on the weapon, this is a good choice. Otherwise, getting Predator Instinct for more damage multiplier is really good. It's up like 45% of their maximum life, so it's still really good multiplier, even if you don't make the most use out of it. And then, maybe in the late game, if I have too much damage, I might pick Mystic Harvest, just for a little bit more sustain, because damage might not be the issue anyway, but we'll see when it happens. The other 2 is probably like not really good for this build, because I am going hybrid, this is not gonna be good for me, and as Mary Brew, we don't have any mana issues, so it is what it is. For the rest of the tree, you pretty much pick those high value crit nodes, you get those high value accuracy nodes, and this, like I said before, is really good. Besides that, I'll post it down in the description. This is really important. Just look at this. Look at my chance to critical hit at max distance, you see? 115%, right? What happens if I remove this node? If I remove this node, look at it now. 91%. That node is really, really important, and it helps out a lot, especially on the lower levels. Look at my galvanic shards. It has the 27% chance to crit on the big distance. So if I pick this back up and go back, it's 47%. It's like huge difference. This node just helps a lot on sustaining the charges on maps. On bosses it's not too important because you go inside of them, and then this doesn't really help whatsoever. But for mapping, this is great, really, really good. This is the node that I have to pick ASAP. I'm probably gonna drop something to pick it because I'm doing the bosses right now, so getting the pen is gonna be really important. Rest of the pen we're getting, like I said, from hypothermia, and I'm planning to put the cold exposure on my galvanic shards and get a little bit of added cold flat. So getting the exposure plus hypothermia plus this is going to reach the 0 on the bosses, so we don't have to worry about res. Besides that, those 2 nodes, like we said, because we're accuracy stacking and crit stacking, are really decent. Some movement speed on those nodes here, so that helps a little bit, with while mapping to make it faster. Obviously more damage from Herald. And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the skill tree. We'll be placing it down in the description. And I just realized I wasn't recording. Okay, anyway, let me just show you what's the whole point of the build. So once you go into the maps, you find any monster, right? You mark it, you hit it a few times, because we don't have 100% on the galvanic itself. This is just at the start, so you hit a few times. Let's do it. You get the charges, right? Now you want to get really close to the enemies, and it's going to proc the lightning infusions from those charges. And now every time you do this, it has a chance of getting the power charge. As you can see, we got the power charges. And now it consumes the power charges, gives us the cold infusions. And now it's the loop of power charges and cold infusions, right? So now it's just going to keep looping as long as, we keep hitting stuff, and you get the idea. Sometimes if it drops, which will happen, let's kill this rare. You see it didn't drop at all, like rares just disappear, but you get the whole point. If it does drop, you just restart the whole cycle, that's pretty much it. Now let's just go and kill the boss, and show the boss damage, and how does that feel. Okay, we place the mark, we place the... Sorry, I didn't put the curse, you place the curse, and now you just go inside of the boss, right? And you start blasting. You try, you see how I position now, and like, you wanna make sure no projectiles are like going past the boss. This is pretty much it. This is a tier 14, I think, rare map, and this is with a lot of bonuses on the Atlas. I think, how many am I in? I'm... so 2 levels, like, yeah, plus 2 levels to boss difficulty. This build can be like a lot better. Like I said, my damage is decent for now, but this can be like, as you can see on the trade side, a lot stronger. And besides this I need to like get a little bit more resistance to cap this. I need to get a lot more evasion. I only have 5k right now, so getting good gloves, good boots, higher, what's called the helmet, evasion on the rings, is gonna make this a lot better. So hopefully you guys did like the showcase. Let me just kill those guys that spawned at the end. Hopefully you did like the showcase. If you have any questions, hop on Discord. I'll keep making updates as we go, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.